from Tokyo, my dear friends. How are you doing today? I hope you're doing very well. This is Daisuke, and I want just to touch base with you, just to let you know what's going on here. And I will, of course, be very happy to hear from you. Please let me know how you're doing lately, and if you'd like, please leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you and hear how you're doing. And if you've seen any interesting films, any film recommendations you have, please let me know at any time. So first thing I'd like to do is I'd like to talk about some titles that I have very fortunately received recently. And the first bunch of titles is actually from a very dear friend of mine, and I was very surprised to receive these. So my dear friend, thank you very much. So this is the Plain Archive, I'm sorry about the glare, this is the Plain Archive Blu-ray set of the film Macbeth, and this is the film Macbeth with Michael Fassbender and Marion Cotillard. And so this is very exciting for me. I haven't seen this version of Macbeth, as this is very recent, I understand. So this is incredibly exciting. This is Plain Archive number 43, I think. Wonderful. And as I said, I don't collect Plain Archive Blu-rays actively, so this is quite a thrill. Thank you very much. Thank you. And the next one that my dear friend kindly sent was this film, also from Plain Archive. This is Young Soon, and I've heard a number of great things about this, but again, this is one I have not seen as well. So this is very welcome, and especially because I'm trying to improve upon my South Korean cinema. You know, as I said, I was a great follower of modern South Korean cinema up to a certain point. You know, there were some films. Do you remember the film Shuri? And it was a great action thriller, and it was a huge financial success in South Korea. And that, from many people, it sort of opened the doors to a South Korean new wave, so to speak. And I was so enamored by that during those stages. There was a film called My Sassy Girl. I don't know if you know this film, but I love that film so much, and that was one of the DVDs that I used to own and watch over and over again. There was also the great film Peppermint Candy. I don't know if you know this film, Peppermint Candy, but this is it's one of the that is one of those films that for me I must have seen so many times again on that DVD that I got, which I think was from South Korea. And so that is one that I really miss because I don't have that DVD anymore. I really should try to get that one again. But that makes me so that song that's sung by the main hero or our hero in the film Peppermint Candy, that's still stuck in my head still after all these years. Well, how does it go? Da na 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 okay. I think that's right. Yeah. So, oh gosh. And so anyway, Peppermint Candy. Oh man, I should. Okay, let me make a note. So anyway, I'm sorry. So that means that this film, Young Soon, is hopefully another way for me to try to get back into South Korean cinema. And there we go. So thank you very much again for this, and I look forward to watching this again from Plain Archive. And also there's this, which is very interesting for me. So Searching for Sugar Man. Now I think this is also Plain Archive, and I do I have seen this film actually, but I've only seen it once, and so I really love the film, and haven't seen it in some time, actually. So this is very welcome indeed. I think if you haven't seen this film, you're really in for a treat and a surprise if you watch it. So, Searching for Sugar Man. But I didn't realize that Plain Archive released this film, Searching for Sugar Man, on this lovely Blu-ray presentation. So limited edition too. So thank you so much. Thank you. But I should watch it again because this one in particular has it is very moving. So anyway, I'll watch it again. I'll put it aside here. And I also got this, which is very nice. This is one I haven't seen, from Nova Media. My goodness, I haven't seen this, but I know many people have spoken about it, which is this film, Nightcrawler. So I know about this film, and I know about its popularity, and so it has a very unique premise, I think. So, but I haven't seen it, so this is going to be a very great new discovery, I hope, for me. So thank you so much for this, Nightcrawler. I can't wait to get this. Again, this is the South Korean Nova Media release, so thank you. So yes, so those are a number of new titles that I got early in the week, or I should say last weekend. And then earlier this week I got some new titles as well, again from another dear friend of mine. And so I want to say thank you so much for this. This really means a lot, and your kindness is really, really, I'm so stunned. Yeah. So I want to say thank you very much, my dear friend, for sending me these. This is very kind of you. I will take very good care of them, I promise, and I will never sell them too. I promise you that as well. And these will be cherished. They will be placed in a place of honor. What does John Merrick say in The Elephant Man when he gets that picture? And he says, "I will put it in a place of honor." So I will put these in a place of honor. So thank you very much for these, my friend. It really means a lot, and I value our friendship, and I value your lovely inspiration, and the way that you are so enthusiastic, and you are so humble. So thank you so much, my dear, dear friend, and you know who you are. And if that weren't enough, one of the things I love about YouTube is you can make so many friends, and I'm so lucky and fortunate because I don't do anything that I don't think I do anything that particularly special, and so I just do this stuff, and it's very low tech, lo-fi. There's no fancy editing, although I am starting to get the hang of doing things like making titles and stuff, and that's becoming a lot of fun. But for the most part, the editing is not very fancy, and so I'm very apologetic every time I upload a video because I feel like it's a bit too lo-fi and low tech when compared to these other great YouTube videos that are edited together and with footage and voiceover and scene analysis and all that. So I'm always so stunned. So that's to say that I'm just very fortunate to be able to do this YouTube thing at all, I think, based on my own sort of meager resources. But despite that, I'm so fortunate to receive comments from a number of people, and I've been receiving comments from another person, and he has fast become a very dear friend of mine. And so I want to say thank you to you also out there. I hope you know who you are, because you sent me these, and you didn't have to. You certainly didn't have to do this, but you did. And so I want to thank you very much. The first one you sent me is this film. It's Braveheart. Now, I'm very thrilled about this because I'm actually I'm of the films I've seen by Mel Gibson, I really find them to be quite fascinating, and this is one of them. And I haven't seen this in such a long time, so I'm looking forward to this. Now, this is the double or 2-disc Blu-ray set, and the first disc has the film with a commentary by Gibson himself. Great. And then disc 2 has a number of special features. And so I am quite taken by this. Thank you so much. This is great. This is really great. I love it. It says rated R. Look, it has a rated R thing right there. And it says rated R for brutal medieval warfare. Wonderful. Wonderful. Well, thank goodness you had that rated R notice there. Otherwise, I don't know what I would have been in for. My goodness. Thank goodness you told me that, rated R. So for brutal medieval warfare. I love that. This is a great film. This is a wonderful film. So thank you so much for this. Look forward to this very much. But that isn't all. That isn't all you sent, because you also sent me another film. Very peculiar. Thank you so much. I don't know. It's a little film here, and I'm not sure if you've heard of it, but it is this. Wow. Wow. Unbelievable. So this is the new Halloween film with Jamie Lee Curtis, and it's directed by David Gordon Green. And David Gordon Green is also in the Criterion Collection, if you just in case you didn't know that. And so, wow, this is great. So this is the Blu-ray and DVD set, and it has bonus features with deleted and extended scenes. Wow, and other features here, making the film, and maybe some things with Jamie Lee Curtis, etc. The legacy of Halloween, I suppose. But this is great because I haven't seen this yet. I have not seen this yet, and I don't know if it came to theaters in Japan here. Maybe it did, and it just passed me by, perhaps. That often is the case. So I'm so happy about this. Thank you so much. And I love Halloween. I love the Halloween series. I love more films in the series. I love films in the series more than others, I admit. But this is great. This is what I've been looking forward to. Now, I've heard overall some very positive things about this, and so this is great. I'm a big fan of the Halloween films. I love the first one, and I have a particular fondness for the second one. And so I understand that there are certain things that this film does with respect to how it treats the other films, and so I will be very interested to see how this film pulls it off. So thank you so much for this. This is very kind of you, my dear friend. And I know that we've been commenting a lot, and we've been discussing a lot of great films. So I really appreciate all the things that you're doing to teach me about certain films, some films that maybe flew under the radar for me, or some films that I might have seen but maybe had forgotten. And you are really, how should I put it, rekindling a little candle in my heart, if that's a good way to put it. You are lighting a little candle in my heart, or a big candle, I should say, and it's growing quite brightly, because I'm now understanding more and more about why certain films are important, and I'm beginning to be able to understand that more, because you are sharing with me a lot of your own personal experience with these films and your own feelings about them. And so I'm so thrilled to be able to receive these films from you, but also I think for me, more fundamentally, I'm so thrilled to be able to receive comments from you and to learn from the great insights that you always have. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for this. And I will put this aside as well. So I have a lot of watching films. There are a lot of films I need to watch this weekend. So my goodness, I hope I can find the time. But this is great. So thank you so much. Thank you. And yes, so there's a lot going on. So thank you very much for this. This is very kind. I do want to say that I am now making my way through the films of Edward Yang, and also I'm talking about the films of Kazuo Hara, so that's keeping me a little bit preoccupied with my time. And also I'm finishing up the Bergman videos, so I always say I'll put them up soon, but I'm so apologetic for my lack of discipline in putting those up on a regular basis. So please accept my apologies, but please know that I'm doing the best that I can. But I just want to say a couple things. I'm very excited because I received at last in the mail, this is when I ordered, the fiction film that was directed by Kazuo Hara, which is called in Japanese Mata no Hi no Chika. So I'm very excited about this. I've never seen this before. So Kazuo Hara is a filmmaker who is known perhaps for his documentary films. In English, there are the films like Goodbye CP and The Emperor's Naked Army Marches On. But he also did one feature film as the director. Now, he's also been working as assistant directors on other features, and he also has worked on other films. Perhaps in particular, maybe you know, he worked on films, certain films by the Japanese filmmaker Shohei Imamura. So there is a relationship between the two filmmakers, and he's worked elsewhere. But he is a director who is a premier voice in cinema, period. A premier voice in cinema, period. And his documentary films are must-sees, all of them. But this is the only feature film that he has made, fiction feature film that he has made as of now. I have not seen it, so I'm looking forward to this. And then, of course, there is the works of Edward Yang. Now, I've just put up a video called The Films of Edward Yang, and I was talking about the film That Day on the Beach. Yes, so That Day on the Beach. So I've actually hopefully going to put up some more videos very soon. But and part of that, of course, is there is a huge, monumental film. Well, there are many of those films in Edward Yang's canon, I think, and so I'm looking forward to that. But among the things I'm looking forward to is I hope that you will watch the videos where I talk about the film The Terrorizers. Now, I've had this Blu-ray for a while, but I'm looking forward to this very much. This is my Japanese Blu-ray, by the way. So The Terrorizers, which is a... if you haven't seen it, you've got to see it. The Terrorizers, you've got to see this if you haven't seen it. It's not so long compared to other Edward Yang works. It's less than 2 hours, I think, and so it's fairly short. So I think that's another reason why I think it's one that perhaps is maybe might seem a bit more accessible, because Edward Yang's films tend to be relatively long. But this is not so long, relatively speaking. Yes, it's less than 2 hours. So I can't wait to talk about this because I love this film so much, The Terrorizers. And also there are some old DVDs that I was able to get several months back, but I haven't spoken about them yet, but I'm looking forward to talking about them. So this is a Confucian Confusion, and this is my Japanese Blu-ray, not Blu-ray, this is my Japanese DVD, and here is also my Japanese DVD of, well, it says Couples, but actually this is the film which is known, I think, in English as Mahjong. So this is also a DVD. Now, unfortunately, these two DVDs are now out of print, and I don't know how one can watch these films with English subtitles, because these DVDs only have Japanese subtitles. So it's a little bit, these are a little bit rare, but I can't wait to speak about these films. And I should mention here the Blu-ray of The Terrorizers. This is my Japanese Blu-ray, and it only has Japanese subtitles, but I think this film can be seen elsewhere through other means with English subtitles. So please check it out if you can. Again, I can't stress enough how much I'm looking forward to talking about. And next is, I want to talk about the Criterion Channel. Now, I've heard about the Criterion Channel news recently. Now, for those of you who don't know, this week the Criterion Collection made an announcement about a streaming service that it's going to inaugurate, and apparently it's going to be launched on, let me get it right, April 8th. If you're interested, check out the website criterionchannel.com for more information. You can sign up, you can subscribe, and you can find information about the payment scheme and the like. And I think there is some kind of special for those of you who sign up early. I think there's a little campaign about getting some little bonus features or something all the way up to April 8th. And so this is very exciting indeed. Again, I encourage you to check out the Criterion Channel website, and it's here, which is I've accessed it on my iPad here. It's actually not mine. It belongs to my wife. But so I encourage you to check it out, and please sign up. I've said it many times. I'm not in the streaming services arena yet, and I underscore that, yet, because it's not for want of any kind of anything from streaming. I don't have any dissatisfaction against streaming per se, but I just haven't gotten into it, and so it takes me a long time to get into new things, I think. But I support this 1,000%, and I think this is going to be limited. I think according to Criterion, this is going to be limited to U.S. and Canada. So I'm not sure how that will affect. I'm not sure what that means for those of you in Europe and Asia, for example. So for me, I don't do streaming anyway, and so it doesn't really concern me directly. But still, the fact that this is being made at least to a part of the world, I think is better than nothing. And streaming services like this are very important. Now, I understand that this is Criterion's own independent service, which is going to be done through the Criterion Channel. And so please forgive me if I get my details wrong, but I understand therefore that this means that this is not going to be a service that is provided under some kind of Time Warner Media kind of group company or media company. And if that's the case, then so long as we have faith in the guiding hands that work at the Criterion Collection, then I think we can maybe rest assured that the issues that seem to have arisen with respect to Filmstruck and how it eventually was removed and it ended, and there were certain corporate issues and certain corporate decisions that were made that perhaps led to its demise. So if we think of that, then I think the fact that this is being presented through Criterion's own infrastructure, the Criterion Channel, I think that's very good news. And so this is very great indeed. And I'm not sure, I want to say that this is the first time that a Blu-ray label like this, a home media label like this, is doing something of this nature. Please correct me if I'm wrong, or an independent home label like this is doing something. So this is very exciting news. And I understand also that perhaps, of course, I think Criterion will have relationships with the big studios and also the big corporate presence, right? In particular, Warner Brothers, right? The Warner Brothers films, I think there's a relationship between Criterion and Warner, so I think that will be ongoing, and I'm sure those relationships will continue. But I think my point is that in terms of its service and in terms of the distribution channels, I think that is going to be something that is to be taken care of by Criterion via this Criterion Channel. And if that's the case, and if my details are not incorrect, then I think this is very welcome news indeed. Of course, it's also welcome news in the sense that this is going to be another streaming service that will make the Criterion vaults open to as many people as possible at a relatively low price compared at least to trying to keep up with purchasing all the Blu-rays and DVDs and such. So I think this is something that's going to be great. Of course, keep an eye out for the price. I don't know what the price is offhand, so keep an eye out for the price and make sure it's something that is within your budget. You know, it's not a good idea to spend outside of one's means. So just make sure that it's okay with you and your budget, and as long as it is, then I encourage you at least to check it out. Go to the website, CriterionChannel.com, and please check it out. I think it's going to be very interesting. And I suppose then that I would just say that, oh gosh, I hope one day Criterion does this for Europe and Asia and where I am. You know, if Criterion did this for Japan and for Tokyo, I would sign up immediately. And I'm not a streaming services guy, as I said, but I would sign up immediately. I certainly wish Criterion had a presence here in Japan like that, but who knows, maybe one day. It's always good to hope and dream, I suppose. But anyway, for those of you who are able to access it, please at least check it out. And when it comes time for it to start in earnest, please let me know how it is. I'd love to hear your thoughts and comments about how it's used, its accessibility, etc., the user interface and all that. Okay, and last thing is I want to mention again that I am very privileged to be able to say that I am part of this podcast media network called the 25th Frame. The 25th Frame is a network, and it is spearheaded by my two dear friends, Aaron and Cole, and who each have their own respective podcasts. You know, Aaron has he has a number of podcasts actually, Criterion Now and Criterion Close-Up. And Cole, my dear friend, who has the podcast with Erica called The Magic Lantern. The Magic Lantern is a stellar podcast, and Cole and Erica, I think, maybe I've said this before, but these things are worth repeating. I think Cole and Erica, the two people who are the creators of the Magic Lantern podcast, I think they collectively together, I think they have seen more films than anyone else that I have encountered. I think so. They have seen more films, and the scope and breadth of their knowledge is quite astounding. I think Cole is doing a project. He's focusing on, or at least he said that he wants to focus on more films from Africa, the African continent, and so, or the region. And so I'm not sure specifically what nations or countries that he might be referring to, but I think in general that is quite interesting because I can say also that my knowledge of films from that part of the world is very, 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 very limited, and that's something I need to remedy to the best of my ability. So Cole and Erica are doing some really fantastic work at the Magic Lantern podcast. You should check them out. Incidentally, they do have also a YouTube channel, so please check them out as well if you're so interested. But yes, they're all part of the 25th Frame Media, the 25th Frame group, and I'm very privileged to be a part of that. And part of that is also being able to listen to these great podcasts that are related to film. And so I encourage you to check them out. They have a podcast feed, I think, on iTunes, and they have a website, so you can check them out there. And I just found out that my dear friend Doug, Douglas McCambridge, who designed a great logo for me that I feature at the beginning and end of videos now. But my friend Douglas McCambridge and his colleague Jamie have just released I think a new podcast, or maybe a snippet or an excerpt from their podcast called Good Times, Great Movies. So I think after I finish making this video, I'm going to put on my earphones and listen to that Good Times, Great Movies podcast. So this is all to say that I encourage you to check this out if you haven't already, and please, please listen to what's out there. There's so much out there that I think is worth listening out, and I'm very lucky and very fortunate because there is it's already, I think, a very diverse group in terms of interest, but I understand that the group is growing, so I look forward to things to come as well from the 25th Frame group. So thank you very much, and please check them out. Okay, my friends, so let me end there, and I hope all of you are doing well, and please keep on watching a lot of great films. Until we meet again, my friends, cheers. And so I am watching my Blu-ray set of the series Twin Peaks: The Return. Now I'm watching it now, and it's now I think it's the fourth time now I'm watching it through. I know many other people have watched more than I have, but I'm working my way through it rather slowly, but still, it is astounding. And I'm a little bit inspired by that at the moment. So please let me end by saying, may the road rise up to meet your wheels.